Are you having an exciting ride? 2025 has been a whirlwind of a year already. And I am making this video as a reminder to reconnect. Reconnect with each other in love and compassion. But first and foremost, reconnect with yourself. In a place of peaceful grace, set aside your thoughts. Set aside your judgments and conclusions. Give it time to wear off. Give those ideas a time to settle and fade. And gently go away like dreams that you forget in the morning. It was all a dream in your mind. Your impression of the world and of your place in it was a perspective. It was a projection. And if you have concluded something that brings you away from a feeling of grace and hope, down out of your heart center into a root feeling that makes you want to run away, let it go and find a place of peace and quiet and orient yourself. Orient yourself with the world that you're in the physical way, to pay attention to the details of nature and figure out your place in it. Take a compass. You've got one on your phone. Figure out where north is, and east and south and west. And calibrate your inner compass with the outer world. Through your silent peace, you will find that all that drama in your head that was making you crazy was just the human mindset. It was the intellectual take on it, the logical conclusions, the storyline that you manufactured as an interpretation. But it doesn't make that the only truth. The wisdom of grace begins with asserting that you don't know everything. Because if your knowing, your conclusions lead you to feel hopeless, perhaps there's another way to go with your thinking. Everybody gets there. Everybody gets to that point where you consume a little bit too much information in a specific direction, down a specific rabbit hole that infuriates you, that causes disgust and hatred. Don't buy into that. Because what does it do to you? What does it do to your vibe, which is the soil from which your future thoughts come? Are you generating an environment within your mind that will lead you to constructive thought that builds the improvements with your creative powers? Or are you falling into the victim mindset? If people really knew who they are, if you realized in this moment the tremendous powers that you have, you wouldn't worry. You wouldn't panic. You would relax and go, with that eye roll of escaping the human mindset. The tremendous relief that comes when you remember who you are. Remember the divine spark of cosmic consciousness that is at the center of your mind. And beyond the infinite cosmic consciousness, which is a little hard to get your brain around for some, or at least at first, consider how you are connected inseparably to nature. Consider how you are the fruit of the earth. Not just your physical structure, but your mind. How do you not look at this earth and go, wow, it's so beautiful. It's majestic. It's magical. And if that's true, what are you? Do you think you were separate? Do you think you were less worthy just because the human mindset has led us away from the way of harmony? It was just a bad dream. All of the thoughts that led us away from harmony with nature and with congruence with the harmonious nature within us, they're just thoughts. They're just ideas. And with this breath, right now, you can release those thoughts. You can laugh it off and go, holy crap. Boy, did my mind take me a long way from who I really am. Who are you when your inner child is in the driver's seat? And I don't mean that in terms of innocence. I mean that in terms of the lively spark of your creative imagination and your interpretation that leads to inevitable appreciation for your world. The child within you is in awe. And if the cranky grown-up that you've gotten used to being, the role that you've been playing and the persona that you've been carrying out is leading you away from that, quit it. Quit it. Because you are a multidimensional being. And that means a lot more than the first blush. There's a lot more to you than you've even quite realized. And more importantly, more than you've remembered. Your brilliant wisdom that shows up when you set aside the frustration and struggle of the human mind, it's infinite. And if you let go and you allow peacefulness to be your way, there is nothing that you can't solve, do, or be. So we will alternate as human beings between the human perspective of 3D Earth and the struggles and pains of somebody living in a human body in this time frame, and the larger expanded consciousness of who you really are. Don't beat yourself up for drifting into the human world, especially if you take in media of all kinds, thoughts from a culture that has become unhealthy. There's an understatement. If you watch movies with murder, good guys and bad guys, duality, hate, vilification, suffering, and victimhood, don't be surprised if it takes you a little while to get back to the vibe that you have when you're in joy, when you're in bliss. The cork will float if you give it a chance. If you don't keep pushing it back down underwater with supporting thoughts and beliefs that keep you lowly. Let it go. Accept it as it is. and let your spirit rise. Breathe in the knowing, the remembering of your true nature. Let the silence be the portal to your knowing, to the return to the internal homeostasis of well-being that is the basis of your true nature. And don't beat yourself up for being human and losing your frickin' mind once in a while. Just keep resetting, recentering, reacquiring the true north of your consciousness. This is the human journey. To maintain your memory of your divine connection as you walk through the mud of the human experience. That's all it is. It's a duality that you manufacture in your mind in the deliberate act of forgetting that all is well, so that you can find your way back home. Release your judgments and certainties and come on home.